The year was 1973, and tales of people fainting, getting sick, or fleeing theaters in fear of the presumed bust of a film.
Are you going to go back in as soon as you compose yourself?
Yeah, I suppose so.
The Exorcist went viral, and that's before the term was ever even coined. Audience reactions catapulted the film that originally opened to a limited 24 theaters to success, making it a landmark film in the horror genre.
My coat on my face like that. Seriously, man. It really was. Seriously. It was a good movie, but it was really bad. I tell everybody go see it.
Now, nearly 50 years later, and we have been gifted with another film stirring similar audience reactions.
Here's the news reports. You gotta love this.
Well, vomit bags are being passed out to customers lining up to see Terrifier 2. The movie is so disturbing that some fans have been fainting and even vomiting in the middle of the theater.
Another said the guy behind me passed out cold and crashed into my chair, and I heard a guy puking hard and loud in the bathroom.
And the demand is spreading globally in what one day we'll look back on as not only the renaissance of the slasher subgenre of horror, but an iconic horror film that will be discussed in the same conversation as The Exorcist, The Blair Witch Project, and Jaws, just to name a few. On this episode of the Pop 5, we dive into the 5 best characters in Terrifier 2 that you may not,
or probably,
know of.
Number 5. Jonathan Shaw. Sienna's younger brother, who has become obsessed with the Miles County Clown after finding news clippings of his murder spree from the previous Halloween in his late father's sketchbook, along with sketches of the victims. With Art never being caught, he fears that he could possibly return. After a chance encounter with Art in his school, Jonathan begins to tie together one of his father's drawings of a girl holding a demon head with his sister, and possibly being connected to Art.
There was a lot of great characters in this film that may have lived, may have died. If you haven't seen it, just beware there's possible spoilers in this video. But Jonathan was one of those great characters that stood out in the film.
The kid's got range, right, when it comes to acting. I could see him doing a lot more things. When he was being like the scared little victim, man, it was very real. It's very believable.
I really like this character because it's not really like any other character that we've seen in other films with a sibling relationship. Typically what happens, the sibling gets killed off, which empowers the heroine to go ahead and do what they have to do. As you know, if you've seen this, that doesn't happen that way. So you have Jonathan that has just as equally an important part, not just in this film, but in the franchise going forward. Because he's the one that's able to start to tie things together.
Yeah.
Essentially, he is the man in the chair like Ned and Spider-Man.
Number 4.
Barbara Shaw, Sienna and Jonathan's mother and matriarch of the family, still coping with the tragic loss of her husband while trying to put on a brave face to hide her own anxieties and guilt. Barbara likely had little time to grieve or catch a breath as her husband was diagnosed with a brain tumor, suffered from hallucinations, and became abusive towards his family before downing a bottle of Jack and driving his car into a transformer station.
This isn't like Daddy.
He was sick. Why can't you understand? He didn't know who he was or what he was doing half the time, and this bullshit is nothing but a fucking reminder.
Throughout the movie, we see Barbara stay steadfast. Because of what she has been through, she has grown impatient and easily angered when she feels like she is losing control of a situation.
Get to your room.
Mom,
Go to your room. I don't want to hear another word out of you until I say so.
Yeah, she definitely has a short fuse.
She does.
She yells about everything.
She almost feels like an old school mom, right? She's in charge. She doesn't take any shit from her kids. She is blunt. She cuts straight to the point, and she ain't afraid to slap a kid.
Not afraid to hit a bitch.
Yeah, whether it's trying to steal some dinner that she's cooking, or it's because somebody calls her a bitch.
I did that once.
She's dropping the heavy hand.
You're such a bitch.
Don't you ever say that to me again.
Called my mom a bitch once, and I got backhanded.
I saw the YouTuber said that they shed some tears over some of the characters in this movie, and I bet you it was probably this one.
Yeah, but man, even though she went out quick, though, Art like desecrated her. Like he was, he was not nice.
Mm-hmm. Anybody want mashed potatoes?
No. Number 3. The little pale girl is a harbinger of death, possibly tied to the tragic murder of a little girl at the local carnival who appears to Art after he escapes the morgue. She serves as a guide who leads Art to the Shaws. Her appearance is similar to Art, and she does not always appear to be around, only appearing to Art and the Shaws.
Before you even say it that it is the same person, it's not confirmed, alright?
I think we all know that it is. She's the little girl that was murdered at the carnival. It's literally her.
Explain it. Why out of all of Art's victims is this the one that is going to turn into a demon?
You need a backstory. You need a backstory on her.
Or this is a doppelganger.
But here's the thing, they use her picture, so it is her.
They used her picture, just like that demon turned into Barbara.
Well, but that's not a doppelganger. The mom, like, that was just like a cloak.
Mm-hmm. And it could be that this is a demon that likes to change their appearance and look like other things. So until part 3, we probably will not know, unless we do a little digging of ourselves to see what we can find out in a future episode of the Popcorn Theory. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, because I'm not buying it. I definitely think it's her.
What do you think? Let us know. Is it her, or is it a demon pretending to be somebody else?
Number 2.
Sienna Shaw, our final girl, still dealing with the loss of her father. And similar to her brother, she has found solace in one of her father's creations, a winged warrior known as the Valkyrie.
He used to draw this character for me when I was a little girl. And he used to tell me I was gonna grow up to be like her one day. And I really believed it.
While Sienna struggles with her own anxieties, self-doubt, and everyday life of being a teenage girl trying to make sense of her life, the love she has for her family empowers her to transform into the vision that her father had for her. This was a debate. Obviously, I lost because I feel that Sienna should be number 1, because this movie was about the rise of Sienna and the Sienna story, where Terrifier 1 was about Art's story and the rise of him. And to have a character like Sienna, where a lot of people are saying, wow, this is probably one of the best final girls ever, that's pretty impactful. Plus, it's not like a cheesy final girl, the one that's running around crying, Laurie Strode, and gets put into that final girl conversation when she really shouldn't be there. Because this is more like Sidney Prescott, this is more like Taylor Gentry, where you have a girl that is dealing with everyday life that just says, no, you ain't gonna push me around like that.
Number 1.
Please welcome Art the Clown.
Art the Clown. A demonic supernatural entity that cannot easily be killed and whose powers may transcend into the dream world. While we did not learn much more about his character, we did come away with more questions related to his origins. Is he a harvester of souls, or a demon sent to seek out warriors of God and kill them? Art is what keeps me coming back to the movie. It is. He's what keeps me coming back to the movie. I don't like gory movies, and I have never had like a fear of a clown. And I don't have a fear of clowns still, but he creeps me out. And he is the reason that I will go and see the movie again and again. He's the reason.
Yeah, I can't argue that. For a slasher that doesn't talk, he has a hell of a lot of charisma, up there with Freddy Krueger. And yeah, he just lures you in. Just like that clown cafe scene with him setting the host on fire and dancing to it. So what does everybody think? Do you agree with our placement here of the characters? Would you have placed somebody else in here? Would you have Brooke in here, Jeff, Ricky, Allison, or Allie? Would you have them in this list? Maybe, because some of those characters are pretty cool too, even though they have very little screen time, but I enjoyed them.
And I feel like that anybody out there who may put them in a different order has, you know, an attachment to whichever character for their own reasons.
This is true.
So I think that definitely changes, you know, the order in which they would put them. And maybe this wouldn't even be their list at all. Maybe they would put the smaller characters in their top 5 for whatever reason. I mean, we don't know why they like a certain character.
Yep. Either way, what is your 5 favorite characters in Terrifier 2? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Let's talk about it, because I like having conversations with people and they're hearing their thoughts on the film. And what do you expect to come in Terrifier 3? Because you know it's happening. You know it's happening.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's not 10 years. And let's not hope there's another pandemic that just really delays it.
10. It wasn't 10 between the first and second, so I think you know, maybe just like
6.
a couple of years, maybe like 2 or 3.
Now, don't forget, it is the quest for 5,000 subscribers, and you can help us get there by
liking, subscribing, and sharing.
Yes, and drop a comment in the video too, because the more likes and comments the video gets, the broader the audience that gets to see this, and you'll have a chance to win this box of Strawberries and Scream cereal signed by Matthew Lillard and David Arquette. And along the way, as the video hits 100 comments and 100 likes, you'll win something. Which reminds me that sometime this week we will be announcing some winners.
Yay! Finally, we get to get rid of some stuff.
And until the next Pop 5, see ya.